My name is Zukanya. For those who don't know me, I'm an au pair in the United States from South Africa. And today I'm going to tell you guys how I actually became an au pair. But firstly, I need to change my clothes. It's like raining outside. It's actually pouring. So I'll just change my clothes and I'll get back, yeah? Okay, so how I got introduced to au pairing was when I was still in college. Um, People came to our school. People from OPE in America actually came to our college, and they were introducing us to the topic of au pairing and kind of explaining to us what it was. But I think the way that they were explaining it, I didn't like it because I was then doing a course that I saw a career in. It was journalism and media studies. So I was like, now you mean to tell me that I'm gonna leave South Africa to be someone else's nanny? No. So I was not interested in it. And because the way that they were explaining it is a matter of you go to another country, you become a nanny, and basically you take care of people's kids while you live with them. And that was the main thing that they were selling to us. So after about 2 years, 2 to 3 years, it then came back to me that, oh yeah, I was introduced to something. Because when I actually remembered, I was then working because I didn't finish college. I did 2 years out of a 3-year course due to financial issues that I'm not going to get into right now. But when that was happening, I was then continuing with the job that I did since I was, what, 16, which was working at a grocery store as a cashier. So I was doing that while still in school. I was in grade 11. So even after college, I was still doing that job because when I was in high school, I would do it on weekends because I was under an agency. And then after that, I then um, registered to be part of the company. So yeah, I was like, I'm done doing this. So I quit that job and I was busy with a business that I had started where I was doing beadwork, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and I was also crocheting stuff and selling them. And I figured that that was quite a demanding job and also not consistent in the income that it brings because I had to wake up in the morning and go and sell those things. Someone was helping me, which was great. And that did not um that did not really mean that would or rather that day we would get something out of it. So it was inconsistent. That's when I then remembered the au pairing thing. So when it had come back to me, I decided to do my own research. I went deep into it where I was looking at the advantages and disadvantages and what it exactly is. And I was looking at all the agencies that actually do it in the United States because that's the country that I was like, I want to go to that country rather than the other countries at that point. So I remember the one that went to our college, which was OPE in America. So I tried looking for the offices, which they were in Green Acres, well, next to Green Acres Mall. And when I went there, the security guard that was at the gate told me that they had left. The They had left that building, and he doesn't know where the office is actually is now. And when I had done my research, it was still saying that the office is next to Green Acres Mall, which was kind of confusing for me. And I figured that if I continue with them at that point, it didn't give me assurance that I would be in good hands at that time, because it felt as if they didn't take the time to update the things. So I didn't know about my safety on being in another country and people are not updating the things. I don't know if they could be updating me or whatnot. So I then looked into other agencies, and then I ran into Cultural Care, which is actually the agency that I came here through. And yeah, they were pricier than the other one, but the moment I reached out to them, they responded immediately. So I felt assured that this is not a sponsor, by the way. I am not sponsoring any agency, but I'm just telling you my story as to how it happened. So I felt assured that, okay, if they are this consistent in answering my request and getting back to me, it made me feel safe, basically. And then I started the process. They had told me the amount of money that I needed to have, and I did not have it at that time. So I started panicking. But luckily, the people that were around me at that time were really helpful. I am very grateful for them to till this day, because they had helped me through that process, from day one. Um, and then I had to go through procedures, of course. In like I they made it easy to a point where they gave me a checklist of things that I needed to do, and they also kept on calling every other week to make sure that I do certain stuff and that my progress is still, progressing. Um, yeah, I did not have a driver's license at that point, but I was still driving because I had a learner's license. So I had to get my driver's license, and it had took me 4 tries, 4 tries to get it. Um, and yeah, and here I am. It was quite an interesting process, because when I then started the process, I was working at a restaurant, which I'm not really gonna name right now. I was a waitress there. So my tips, my salary, the people around me, those things were helping me put everything together. Um, I even had to, I don't know if I said it in my previous videos, but I had to volunteer at a daycare center in order to gain the experience with all age groups of kids that mainly would need childcare in the United States. And while I was doing that, I would have to where I would have to wake up around 5 o'clock in the morning, and then at work my shift would probably start at 4. Yeah, at 4 until 10 in the nighttime. So I would be at the daycare from, I don't remember, I think from 7 a.m. from that time until 3. And then I'll have to rush home, get ready for work. So rest in my world was a myth, basically. There was no pausing. I would go to the daycare in the morning, come back, just have enough time to change my clothes, get ready, go to work. I would end my shift at 10, but would have to clean the shop before we leave. So I'll probably go home around past 11. And then I'll have to do it again and again and again. And that happened for about a month or two. Um, and then after that, I then had the visa interview. So I had to go from Port Elizabeth to Cape Town for that interview. But my mom was there to help with that. So great. Um, yeah. And I got approved on the spot. The guy probably asked me like two to three questions. And he was like, okay, you can expect your passport to arrive with your visa inside of it within a week. And it came to me within 3 days, which was great. And I was so excited. I was like, what? I'm going to America? I did not believe it. And then I don't know if I had interviewed families already, but yeah, I think I was still in the process of interviewing families. I had interviewed a lot of families. That was draining for me. It was like really draining because there would be times where I would interview the family and then things would seem like, we are having a vibe. And then last minute, they probably like, oh, we had found an au pair that's already in country, so we'd have to take that. And sometimes cultural care would give me families that I did not like, so I would just cancel that. But I had to go through a lot of families, and then I found a family that was in Plano, which I really liked, and I had an interview with them. And after that interview, they had told me, because I was the first au pair, they had told me that they like me and they would like to match. And I remember when they actually said that, I was driving with my mom. I don't know where we were coming from. I don't remember. But there was like traffic in the road. I'm like, Mama, they had accepted me. Like they want me to come to them. So we were all excited. Like traffic didn't matter. Um, yeah. And then I think I had to then go to them after like 2 months, 2 to 3 months. So I was getting my things ready, packing my stuff, making sure that I have everything that I need. Um, yeah, and then I got here in the United States on the 30th. No, I left South Africa on the 30th of August 2024. So I had to take the flight from PE to Cape Town, which I had to pay for. And then from there, cultural care paid for the flight to come here, which had a stop in Istanbul in Turkey. So I flew from Cape Town to Turkey and then from Turkey to Dallas, which was very tiring because I remember when I got here in the US, I was like, what am I doing here? I'm so tired. And I was tired for like the whole week because, even jet lag and time difference. So my body was still getting used to the new time zone. But yeah, I was with that family for a whole year. And then they wanted to extend with me, but I think our priorities kind of clashed. But I don't really think I know. Our priorities kind of clashed. So yeah, we had to part ways. But after that, they had decided to get out of the program because they wanted me as their au pair. Um, so I went to another family, which was in Flower Mount, which is about an hour away from where I was living. And then I was with them for 2 weeks. Things didn't work well. And when I was there, I interviewed families again, ended up here. So yeah, I'm still in Texas, which I like. But here, I'm like 4 to 5 hours away drive from there, which is quite a difference. But yeah, that's how I became an au pair, and I'm gonna try and remember like the step by step things that I had to do and the things that I needed to do in order to actually get to the position that I am today. And I'm gonna make a video of that, and hopefully it can help someone out there. But other than that, thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully you come back and watch the ones that I will be posting this week. Have a good day. Bye.